Hey, Speckle to what's light, it's me, Speckle there. Come back to a video. This video, like I was saying, I am going to be turning SAO characters into monsters. First I did Asuna, then I did Kirito, then I did Klein, and the final one I did was, the final one being Elizabeth, the blacksmith, aka the mace wielder. Now, all of these were different types of creatures I call dwellers. Basically, this is where they live. Like an earth dweller lives in the earth, or basically they can live on earth, but they can mostly live either underground or above ground, but mostly above ground for the Kirito one. There's also the Sky Dweller, which was for Asuna. Then I did the Magma Dweller for Klein. And then a Forge Dweller, which is gonna be a rare one, for, what was her name? Elizabeth. Well, Elizabeth, sorry. But that's all for this part. Let's get into the drawings and lore, shall we? Let's go. And roll intro. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Okay, so for the first creature I'm going over, it's a dweller. Rest of creatures that are very uncommon, very hard to find, but because they are most notably to be really good hiders. First one is being a bone rapier armed cloud dweller, or rapier cloud dweller. These things do have a skeletal system, but it's practically non-existent when they have their secondary abilities. All dwellers have the ability to turn into or camouflage themselves into the ground or wherever they are. This one in particular has the ability to turn into a lightning cloud, or basically into a low lightning storm. It's a very interesting creature. Usually it stands up to be around 10 feet tall, in full height and fully grown. Lifespan is only around 5 to 1,000 years, so not very that long compared to other creatures. Dragons are some of the most powerful creatures in this world. Their bone claw is actually 5 feet long, and actually used for multiple weapons. Their bone claw, what am I saying, it's a bone rapier, are actually made to be, into rapiers. They're biological metal, and these, like I stated, these creatures are very hard to find, but they're also very, very fast. Their legs are literally designed to be able to run and jump and fly very, very fast and very, very far, relatively easily. They are practically known for you to blink and they'd be literally maybe 500 feet away from you. They're just that fast and that dangerous. They are also known to be more dangerous during, a lightning storm, because of, it's a freaking lightning storm. They mostly can use the lightning to their advantage by using that for a burst of speed. But overall, these creatures are not very dangerous to humans. They mostly fight off threats to humankind. But I do remember some being caught into a weird thing, but they're also able to have kids with humans. Very, very rarely, because they are very rare creatures. But they are also, these half human, half dwellers are known as human dwellers, basically because they are basically dwellers but in a human form. I do know a few, like an earth dweller kid named Kazuto, but named most commonly known as Kirito, and some cloud dweller human known as Asuna. They're a couple. But let's just get to the next one. Okay, the next creature I'm going over is something very, very somewhat similar, actually, to the last one I went over. This next one is again another dweller. This one is known as the creature name bipedal dual bone bladed earth dweller. Common name BB earth dweller because bone blade. But anyways, like the name suggests, it has two bone protrusions from its hands, which are actually very, very tall and very, very sharp. These things reach its full body length, well, reach around down to its toes. The arms are very, very strong. The legs are very short, but also very strong. These things are known to sometimes be found in caves and live in caves, but they're most noticeably to be found and also live in above ground areas. Sometimes in very, very rocky areas or very near a cave. They have the ability to basically camouflage themselves underground. They can dig a hole into the ground and then basically just act like they're a giant stone, which is actually very useful because they have a rock-like biological, very tough cartilage-like bone structure on their back and arms and upper mouth and lower mouth. They also have rock-like spike protrusions on their legs, which are around their kneecaps. They have a tail. Their eyes, though, are pure white with a black slit down the middle, so you can, for a pupil. And these things are also very, very, like I stated, very strong, very fast. But they're also known to be very, very talented with fighting with both of their arm blades. But they're also very, they don't really talk to humans. They don't, more or less, they're solo hunters, which actually doesn't really make any sense. Because usually the wild dwellers sometimes are solo hunters, but a good chunk of the time they are group hunters. But these guys are very, very rarely ever a group hunter. Maybe another one every now and again, but those are usually their partners for life, which are very hard to find for them because they usually breed with other races. And like I stated, I know of a BB Earth Dweller human hybrid named Kitagaya, but because it's a Kitagaya, but he also goes by Kito as a adventuring name / gamer name. Yeah, games do exist in this world, but we mostly go on adventures and do all that stuff. It's a lot more fun than being at home playing video games. Although I do have to admit, I am sometimes cooped in my room for a few years playing a video game, just trying to get through it. I'm a very bad gamer. Yeah, let's just get to the next one. This next one is actually a very common type of dweller. They're known as four-legged dwellers because usually most dwellers are bipedal and usually they stand on two legs. But this one sort of reminds me of a idea of an earth elemental, like a four-legged earth element just walking there. That's somewhat from how these things look. Just make it molten magma and you can see it. That's what they look like. And yes, I know, I just sound like I'm a smoker, but I do not. I've just been fighting too many fire elementals. I've inhaled so much smoke that it damaged my lungs a little bit. But my healing factors kicked in, healed quite a bit of the lung damage. But some of it's been there for so long and done so much damage, it's near impossible. But anyways, these things are very weird. They are known as the flaming-tailed magma dwellers, if I remember correctly. Let me see. Yeah, flaming-tailed, blade-tailed magma dweller. They're known as a flaming magma dweller. The reason why is because usually they're not a single part of them fire. Although they do have the ability to conjure fire, they don't have a body that's constantly on fire, if you know what I mean. Now, they are molten rock, so be very careful because, well, they are sometimes mistaken for four-legged elementals because of how their rocks are, well, technically more or less four-legged magma golem. But those things are even rarer. But trust me, this thing is a whole, not as powerful, but pretty powerful compared to them. Now, it is lifespan for this thing is usually around maybe 600 to 1,000, 1,200 years. Not very old creatures, but they can live for a pretty freaking long time. I've seen one of a few grow up and die. Although their flaming tails are sometimes used as weaponry, just like a bunch of all of these others. They are used to make weapons, most likely a katana because of how their blade is shaped. The blade at the end of their tail, that is. And they come in and clock in at a whopping 5 tons. Well, not 5 tons there. Actually, scratch, that's something else I remembered. They walk away in at a whopping 1 ton. But these things are very fast for something that weighs that frickin' much. But let's get to the next one. Okay, this final one is a very, very weird and a very rare species and type overall. This one is known as the bone mace armed forge dweller, or mace forge dweller. These things, like I already stated, are very, very rare and very uncommon to find. Mainly because they do take some properties out of a forge. They are known to make weapons for humans using their own, just surrounding areas, but also their own bodies, because as you can see, they have a forge structure in their chest. Meaning it's just like a little fireplace for it to heat the metal. And it can literally spew out giant flames at will. And I mentioned one arm is a bone mace. Yeah, these things have a mace made of their own bones. Very weird, yes. But they also have the ability to turn into a full-on fire area for forge. They do have a tail like most of these other ones, but it actually has a blacksmithing hammer at the end of it, which literally becomes a decoration on the wall they hide in. And for like dwellers are sometimes confused for mimics, because even in their alternative form, I mean their like their storm cloud, whatever, they do actually sometimes move around and eat stuff. People confuse that for being a mimic, but mimics are usually just one thing that stay in that one form. Maybe turn into maybe grow teeth or something. But mimics are very dangerous in general, but not as dangerous as a dweller, because you do not want to get into piss one off, because if you do, you're not going to wake up with a nice few intact bones. Yeah, you piss something off like a dweller, you're gonna have a few broken bones. Age-wise, thing lives for around upwards of 1,000 years. But like I already stated, the soul contract makes it to where it's nearly infinite, depending on how long other people like I was saying, depending on how long their owner lives for. I actually do own an a BB Earth dweller. That thing is actually 2,000 years old. I got it when I was a few hundred. The thing was probably about that time was nearly dead. So yeah, I've known about those for a while, but we've only been able to get this time of technology up to now for me to record these audios. So yeah, that's all for today. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, because that's all the time I got for today. Until next time, subscribe to Join Spike Army or do more silence. Goodbye and peace out, everyone.